Is it Jonathan
I
Patterson?
don't fucking know.
It was Patterson.
It was Patterson.
Yeah, he took over Dave.
Jeff over here about to take a shot of his fucking little bit of Pepsi.
Cheers, mates.
I've already.
Wait a second. You need to have a more Australian accent. You just say cheers, mates, and I think you need to be more like cheers, mates.
All right.
Do you do it? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Thank you.
Son of a bitch! God, that's harsh.
Hello and welcome to Mastering Mediocrity Music Reviews. I am Jeff,
I'm Ben.
I'm Mark.
and we are here because Ben doesn't like descriptive words, to review Church of the Cosmic Skulls. What's the name of the album, Ben?
Something about time.
Oh shit! I don't know. Let me pull up.
There is no time.
There is no time.
I was all right. All right, there is no time.
Yeah, this album was released May 13th, 2022. So when we first got it, it had just come out. So that was like 1 month ago. So we are 1 month.
We're a little
late.
behind.
Yeah.
We had a couple of things pop up. COVID, Jeff.
It happens.
Literally still positive
Memorial
right
Day
now.
weekend.
He's literally still testing positive right now.
We're
You guys just have to throw that in there. I don't know if it's intelligent since you're not masked or what. It is what it is. I'm past the CDC guidelines for being around other people. So, and I basically have no symptoms anymore. So, we'll hope for the best.
basically no
Basically.
Truthfully, I have no symptoms left. If we jump right in, we should do shots first.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna.
And then we'll jump right in. But we gotta.
The last one we did was.
We gotta grease the wheels.
Oh yeah. The last one we did was Jeff. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
switch
yeah.
back.
This one's nice and smooth. So, Chattanooga whiskey.
Thank you.
It's Chattanooga, but that's fine.
So while we're doing this,
While we're doing this, what?
Well, cheers.
what you use?
All right. Cheers, mates.
Cheers,
Cheers, mates. It's getting warmer, which doesn't help.
No, it
anyways.
doesn't.
It doesn't. Oof.
Doesn't help anyway.
It's still good. It's still good. I mean, we've talked about it before. It's just like the bourbon whiskey is not as smooth.
As a rye.
Yeah, as a rye.
We've said enough.
Yeah.
So, before we get into telling us about the band, you got your computer pulled up, so I'll let you pull up the info about the band.
Sure.
But Church of the Cosmic Skull is a band that I found a couple of years ago.
It's a great
I
story.
can't remember if I told this when we brought it up, but they were a band that I found a couple of years ago, and I was like, God damn, these guys are good. I think
One
Jeff would like
particular
this.
song.
Well, a couple of songs that I really liked.
Oh yeah, I remember this story now.
Yeah, and I was like, and Jeff and I send each other a lot of music back and forth, and I was like, hey Jeff, on Facebook I said, post it to his wall, Jeff, check this song out or whatever, and no response, nothing.
Not even a like.
And
Not even
normally
like-
I'm pretty quick.
Not even.
you
No,
know.
you're not. Well,
No,
it's been like a day.
I like a
Well,
like
it's-
I'm like
you've gotten
the
better.
first like of most of your posts.
You've gotten better. No, my parents are.
Well, yeah,
Drives me-
yeah. What else do they have to do? Yeah.
I'm always like, how are you guys the first ones? Like,
They have
They're
you as
always
a
on
relative.
Facebook.
is
So
there,
they,
is there an
Always.
alert that
Yeah.
pops up when I post? Anyway,
It has to be.
Anyway, Jeff doesn't say anything. Back then, you were a lot worse about responding. You've gotten better now. This is like a couple of years ago. And then, I mean, legitimately a year later, Jeff sends me a text with that exact same song. Like, hey man, I think you'd really like this or whatever. And then I go take a screenshot. I'm like, yo, bitch, I fucking told you about that a year ago.
And he
What
had
did
a,
you
he had
And
a
you didn't
screenshot.
respond.
Yeah.
I've scrolled back through all your Facebook posts.
Going over
to
the
find
entire
it.
year.
Yeah, to find
I
it.
knew it.
I knew it. And yeah. And so that's how we really got into Church of the Cosmic Skull. I was already into him, but so like Jeff is like sending me all these songs that he's like listening to for the first time. It's like, hey man, I I've already heard.
It's on my playlist, bro.
Yeah, I already heard all this shit.
Yeah, they have a couple songs that I really enjoy. Down to the River, I think, is one.
Yeah, something like that.
And then another one is...
Their top 5
It's
is
my
really
first time here.
Cold Sweat. Their top 5 is Cold Sweat, Go by the River, Evil in Your Eye, Mountain Heart, and now One More Step, which is off this most recent album, and that's a really solid top 5. One More Step. One More Step is all right. We'll get into it, but you could probably put another one in there, but I can't. You know,
it's that song about dying.
Oh yeah,
that song's great.
Yeah,
but it's not a. It may not even be a top 10
Man,
song.
you got it. Honestly,
it's
you got to
great.
be pretty dark.
And realistically, One More Step is
pretty dark.
It's of that vein, that song. So I'll pull that up at some point.
So tell us about Church of the Cosmic Skull, Jeff. Who are these cats?
I know that they are a British band. I'm still pulling up their Wikipedia. But yeah, I mean, so if you were to distill COTCS, as I call them.
COTS.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you just say
COTS.
COTS.
COCS with a T in the middle.
Just COTS.
No, COCS with a T in the middle. That's the way I'm going with it.
COTS? Like
COTS.
what you sleep on when you're a kid in daycare?
Yeah, but there's a C there.
Yeah.
It's COCS with a T,
COCS.
okay? It's going to be COCS with a T. And they're I don't want to say they're a jam band. They're like a soft melodic rock band.
Let's see.
That has a dark taint to them. They're upbeat yet not evil, but it has
An ominous
themes
feel,
that are ominous, a bit nefarious in a way. The thematics of their lyrics are not positive things.
Sure.
There's a lot around dying and death.
Sure.
They kind of have a ghost feel to some degree, but their music is upbeat in nature. They have a lot of choral feels. There's
like choir.
There's 3 singers, I believe, maybe even
There's
4.
only
in
3.
some cases.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the band provides
some sort of yeah.
I think they have to, man. Sometimes it sounds like there's 6 people back there just
it's
saying their own things.
They're made like I definitely hear moments where a single singer is dubbed twice at least, maybe 3 times. So there's definitely some post-productive
according to
stuff
Google,
going
there's
on.
8 members.
That's not what they show on their album covers though. There's I want to say there's 6 on their album cover.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We'll post that.
Wikipedia
here
says 7.
But
so there's somewhere between 6 and 8 people in the band.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they bring more. Like I'm looking here, I see 6 people. So I don't know, but they're a relatively new band. They were formed in 2016 by their songwriter Bill Fisher, which I assume is their lead singer. They're noted as being progressive pop, progressive rock, but I don't really see the prog side.
I don't see the pop part.
I see a pop a little bit because it's like none of the music they make is.
You should listen to their top 5 on your way home.
I can't imagine any of that being like. I guess what I think of pop is like what's on like Kiss FM.
I don't disagree, but the stuff you've heard, like when you say progressive, that means you're saying that it's something you haven't heard before, and they're not. Yeah, they're not bringing anything new to the table.
I'll give
They're pretty unique.
It's not.
I think it's a pretty unique sound.
It's a unique sound, but like it's still guitar, drums, keyboard. Like
there's only so many instruments,
and it's not like it's math chord. It's still a very natural progression through the song.
To that point, outside we were talking, you guys. This was a complaint that kind of you both had. About, like you kind of said, there were like a lot of people, they were stepping on each other's spotlight, if you will. But I think that like is kind of the charm of it, because I think they're all very, like it's a really good music, like you were saying, it's kind of an upbeat kind of gospel prog rock type deal. But then I think there's like this lethargic shuffle, this sort of this kind of chaotic might be the right way to put it, but like it just feels like this. It kind of feels like people who are just kind of just having fun, just kind of. I hate to say in
there's
the
a
moment.
jam element.
Chaotic's a good word for it.
Yeah, it is chaotic
And
to a degree.
In the moment,
Especially
like
the first song.
Like some of it kind of sounds woo wooey, but like you can tell they're like a certain style of band. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And some of this shit would work perfectly in some of those like jam festivals that I go to. They kind of have a similar vibe to Turquoise. Turquoise might have a little bit more dance to them, but just as many members and shit. I think they'd be just right at home at any of those festivals. But I don't know. To me, the thing that I kept coming back to was just like this lethargic shuffle, this kind of but upbeat, but kind of lax on rhythm, and you're close enough. Shh, we'll get there.
I can feel you. No, I can feel you that there's very little that approaches pop, and that's where I'm with you. They say progressive pop, but there's nothing that's really in this album particularly that's radio ready. Their previous album had Cold Sweat. That is their I think it's their best song, and it is their most radio ready song.
It's on Spotify. It's got 2.2 million listens compared to their second most listen has 980,000.
It's respectable, but yeah, just and to underline their like dark angle. One of their album names, I think it's their first album name, is
Everybody's
called
Going to Die.
Oh, that's the song that I like a lot. Everybody's Gonna Die. It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's very rhythmic, and it has just like imagery to the fucking roof. It's a great song.
That's their most recent album, other than this one, is Everybody's Gonna Die. Their other one was Science Fiction, and then their first album was Is
Satan Real? Yeah, so they have this dark angle. They're not saying is God real, they're saying is Satan real. So they have this gospel element, but it plays against their evil nature, generally.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I found them when I was like really listening to Ghost, or I was really getting into Ghost, and I can see the connection.
There's parallels.
Maybe not with this most recent Ghost album, but some of the earlier Ghost stuff is sort of similar.
Yeah, there's some gospel.
Yeah. But anyway.
Do you want to dive right into the songs?
That's all I got to say about them. Do you got anything to say?
Yeah, Mark, you were a little quiet on that. Do you have something that you want to say about the band in general?
It was easy to listen to. My only real complaint is all the vocals. At times it does work because they still always have like the lead singer is still the one that you hear the most, but sometimes it's just like too much background. You can't like, I don't even know if they're like saying things. Because there's so many people saying them that you can't tell if there's any actual words.
The first song especially is to me is just a minefield of vocals.
Like it's very digestible.
Yeah.
For somebody who doesn't really listen to this music, I rated all the songs pretty high. I would rate them higher now, listening to it today, than I did when I first went through the first couple times 3-4 weeks ago.
We've talked about it. I'm not.
I enjoyed it a lot more now, today, than I had in the past. So all these, I'm gonna bump my numbers up probably at least one for each one.
Fair. Just Ben, start us off.
All right, so song number 1 is 7 Rays of Color. My initial rating was a 6, but after listening to it a couple of times, even this is still a couple of weeks ago when I did my re-rating, I kind of, after my like 4th or 5th listen through, I gave it up. I was like, man, I really like this. So I bumped them all up. This one I bumped up 1, so final score would be a 7. I'd say, I just think it's a cool intro, kind of introduces you to the sound, and I think it does sound a lot like Church of the Cosmic Skulls, like kind of classic sound, if you will. But, yeah, I don't know. There's a Row Your Boat intro, piano intro.
Yeah.
Which
It's definitely, it's distilled a bit. But
I wouldn't have, it's like real jazzed up, but I wouldn't have known it. But like, Belle suddenly, she started saying, she would be like, row, row, but we didn't know what she was saying. And then suddenly, Kelsey played
Yeah.
Row, Row, Row Your Boat on her phone to like calm her down in the car. And she started being like, row, row. And it's like,
Oh,
trying to
that's
get-
the connection.
She's been trying to get us to do row, row, row your boat. And so
That's cool.
So like I've been doing row, row, row your boat for like freaking.
No, I heard it immediately.
I didn't notice it.
You noticed it the last, like when we just listened to it just recently. I thought
But
you
it
made
sounds
a
like
comment.
row, row, row your boat.
Yeah, look at let's just listen to it. It's
Oh, I will. I'll
We'll
listen.
play it upstairs afterwards.
and then they cut it into 3 different sections.
It's like kind of
and
jazz.
it's slow.
Okay.
And there's minute note changes, but it's definitely row, row, row
I
your
didn't
boat.
know.
Yeah, like it at the end it like kind of really jazzes out and kind of like it's still row, row your boat, but you're like they're doing something different and then
It is different, but
yeah, it's
there's a
not
parallel. So to me, like you were saying with the vocals, to me there's too much interweaving of lots of people singing at the same times, over each other sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like, if you've seen the movie Encanto, the first, or like the We Don't Talk About Bruno song, there's a lot of people singing, but what they did was they sang all their verses separately first, and then they began interweaving.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
here
end,
they just
the end of the
immediately
song.
hit you
Yeah.
with it, and it's hard to unweave those things. To me, I wasn't a fan. I give it a 5 out of 10.
That was my first rating as well for that reason, but I would bump it up to a 6, maybe even a 7. I really like the first song. No,
nice.
after hearing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Except
How about-
Jeff.
It's whatever.
You can't love everything.
You can't. Yeah, you can't, and I don't love
And I
this
don't.
album. Yeah. So let's go on to Pleading with Cosmic Mother.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna say straight out, this is probably my favorite song of the album.
You like
I will
3 songs in this
I
album
will
quite
add,
a bit.
I will add this to like my summer playlist. You know, I've sent you guys snaps of me singing it in the car, like at work, like a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. You like it.
Thank you.
I don't.
I don't
I like it more than the previous song.
I gave it a 7.5, and then I bumped it up a whole point. God damn, I gave it an 8.5.
5.
It's probably my least favorite on the album.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think it deserves least favorite.
I gave it a 5. I wouldn't bump that one up any higher. It's all right, but I don't know. There's something about the oh mama.
I like that.
I just didn't-
That's hot.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
it's
didn't
like
vibe with me. I guess.
To me, that's them
It
firing
hits,
on
and I'm
all
like,
cylinders.
alright.
Yeah.
oh my.
Clearly,
That's
yeah.
them doing all the things that I want them to do, and Mark's like, if they could do way less of that.
It's funny because like as soon as I heard this song, I was like, this is what Church of the Cosmic Skulls brings to the table.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of their best songs that they do.
I think it could go in their top 5. I think it could take out the whatever that next one is, One More Step.
I give it a 6.5. I would bring it up to a 6.75. I'll meet in the middle with the. Well, no, you're not even in the
not
middle
quite
with
the
the
middle,
other.
but
Yeah.
You took a step or two in that direction.
Yeah. Like this is one of the better songs. It's just to me, for the entire album except for one song, I just don't feel like anything takes me there. So I'll just shut up there because it just to me I don't vibe with this.
I'm gonna be a Debbie Downer this whole album.
No, I got decent ratings. It's just there's only one song that exceeds an 8 for me.
Okay.
That's it.
Fair enough.
And you said it was your least favorite song?
Yeah.
I am surprised by
What'd you
that.
rate it?
A 5. It's not a
It's still
terrible song.
listenable.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
5 out
I
of
mean,
10 is
that's
listenable.
yeah. I mean, it's
just like elevator.
I don't hate it, but I didn't really.
A lot
like
of
it
this
all that
album I
much.
thought was like really adequate background music.
Yeah.
This was the whole thing for me except for one song. For the most part,
Right.
there are moments, I guess.
All right, well then Jeff, lead us into the next most adequate song.
One More Step. So this is the most played Spotify song.
It does make
album.
sense to me.
You don't think it makes sense? I mean, this isn't the song that I gave an 8.5.
That's good. Mark, what'd you give it?
Yeah.
I gave it a 7.5 initially. I'd probably maybe keep going to maybe an 8.
Ooh. So I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7.
I liked it.
This one is like, everybody's gonna die, but not as good.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, to me, this is the pinnacle of the pit.
From the pinnacle.
From the pinnacle of the pit, because And I'll say that I was like, so to Pinnacle to the Pit is like
really heavy.
the human. Well, no. I'm saying lyrically. Lyrically, I'll draw the connection. Pinnacle to the Pit is like the rise and fall of humankind, right? And this song is One More Step. They talk about evolutionary suicide. The song surrounds the final step, right? It's called One More Step, but they're talking about taking that one more step,
The last
and then
step.
you're falling off of something one way or another. But they actually specifically call out evolutionary suicide, and I think it's a social commentary on how we just kind of, maybe they're saying we've got to the end, it's like it's as good as it's gonna get.
We're gonna be robots
it's
after
gonna be
this.
robot. Yeah, in one way or another, it's just we're so deluded. I don't necessarily disagree. Like it just feels there's a feel to the end. To me, like, what did you give it?
This song,
Yeah.
One More Step, I gave it a 6, but I bumped it up to a 7. Like my first couple listens was whatever, but when I listened to the album on shuffle, and when this came up as the last song, I was like, this song's pretty fucking good as a closer. I think it's a really good album closer.
I would agree with you that it's a better closer.
But here it is as the third song, and it's like this real fucking Debbie Downer at the front of the album, and it's a really long song compared to the rest of the shit. So it's like, god damn, guys, so I can just attack this guy at the end, or like song number 6 or 7. Once you've bumped us up, you can kind of build us into this
falling action going down to the conclusion.
Album composition is more important than I feel like the artists seem to buy into.
I would like to assume that they do. I would just assume
they have to. They have to some degree.
But I guess there's also the argument that a lot of shit now is just put out digitally, so maybe they release a single here and there. And
I don't feel like there's too many people doing what we're doing. Maybe that's just like a toot, but I don't see it. Going through an album and judging it as an album. Song by song.
I'm talking about the artist releasing it, so like to them it may not be. They may not see it as a collection of songs that represent something to them.
So you're saying maybe it doesn't. They're not looking at it
right.
that
Maybe
well.
they just were like, hey, like we finally got 10 songs. Let's put them on an album.
And it's random.
Not necessarily random, but
maybe not so much credence as we are giving it.
Right. Like they may just like, hey, we finally got.
I would think that you would put that much thought into it.
I don't know.
I would think you would.
I would like to think so too, but I'm just saying, like, since everything is so digital now, people just like, I finished a song, I'm going to release it. Finish a song, I'm going to release it as a single. Finish a song, release it as a
More
single.
agile.
Yeah, and then once they get to like 10, they're like, all right, I'm just going to hear those 10 songs.
We saw that with Pantera to a degree. But I mentioned the same thing. It could be a minute shorter. For sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So that leads us to Valley and Hills Part 1. Peel Away, or Peel... I put Peel Away the Layers, but it should be Peel Away the Layers, I would imagine.
Peel away the layers.
This one opens with like a pretty funky, but or maybe just cool is a good descriptor for the bass line. It's nice, like you can definitely, just even as a person who doesn't, or is just like semi-remotely familiar with the guitar, like you can kind of like just go along. It's nice, it's rhythmic.
Cool was the word that I used.
Yeah. Maybe cool is the right word then. Yeah. But how do we feel about the song?
I think it's average.
I think my favorite.
You think it's your favorite? Yeah. See, I think we were mixed on this. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Like,
Same.
It just
8. Yeah.
The bass line I have come to appreciate. When I hear it, I do get involved, but the song doesn't lift off.
Yeah, it's all right.
But you
I feel
like
flying
that type
through
of
like
stuff.
space when I hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
It has that.
At the very, at the
when you're listening to it, like stars are just shooting past your peripheral. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cool.
There's like a really cool. There's like a really cool panning that they do at the very beginning. There's like or whatever.
Yeah, but same complaint that I have for the rest of the album. Like, I want this funky breakdown because COCS with a T has not. They don't really do that. They don't have these. They don't really dilute their songs into a 30-second breakdown. It really is just about the rhythm and the flow. But I like that interlude of just something that's different, but same key, but
ties in and out.
Exactly. And they just don't do that, and that's why I never break. There's nothing in the album, the entire album, that just like draws me and puts itself at the forefront. And this song definitely doesn't do that. It's cool, but maybe that's it. 6 out of 10.
It's hard to argue with that, but I just liked it more.
8 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah, you like that flow, I think.
Yeah.
And you gave it a 6 out of 10 as well.
I gave it a 6, yeah.
Okay. To me, of the parts, the second song is better. Yeah. And it, to me, because it's more dynamic.
Yeah.
I don't have terribly much more to say compared to the first part. It just, there are some more musical interludes to it.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I thought it was more interesting. Initially I gave it a 5, and then I bumped it up 2. So I gave it a 7. Yeah, I just think it was like pretty cool, pretty heavy, at least for church.
Yeah.
Or COCS.
With a T.
Yeah. I gave it a 7.
You have a 7.
I didn't look at the lyrics.
That's all 7s around, yeah.
So I didn't read the lyrics, so I guess lyrically, I guess they're maybe tied together. But like to me, like if they could have been named a completely different song, and I wouldn't have known that it was a part 1, part 2. Like it's a completely different song, which is
I didn't really investigate the part 1, part 2 of it. They could have been separate songs to me.
I think they are lyrically connected. Because I
could argue the whole album.
Right. Because usually, like, I wouldn't say usually, but a lot of times in an album, like a part 1, part 2 is going to have a fairly similar sound in some of the, I don't know.
It flowed
when I think of a part 1, part 2.
It did.
Yeah.
There was something different about these 2 songs versus the rest.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Both of you.
It was more exploratory. Yeah.
But I guess we all liked it, so.
Yeah. 7 out of 10. Next song. I'm torn on this one now. Yeah, now's the time.
I gave it a 7, and I bumped it up 1 to an 8, which is strange because I can't think of the song now. And all I wrote was, on the surface, it seems like a good, uplifting song. I'm not going to investigate the lyrics. Ignorance is bliss. That's all I wrote. So it's like, I don't know what that fucking means.
I'll explain it as this is the most radio-ready song.
Okay.
And beyond that, it's not special as a radio song. I gave it a 6.5. When I think back to it, it's like there is the lyrical call to action. Now's the time. You don't know when it's going to end. Do something. It was much more uplifting than the rest of the album, for sure. Although I guess 7 Rays of Color is kind of more upbeat-ish. The lyrics weren't terribly upbeat. You'll give me a beat, son? Uh-huh. You want that? Oh yeah, right here, right now, son?
For $6.99.
You can watch us play.
You can watch us jerk off on each
other with.
I'm gonna stop us right here. We're gonna take shots. It's time, son. Let's do it.
I'll take one.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Now's the time, son.
All right.
Did we give numbers on now's the time? Did we even?
I gave it a 6.5.
I think we did.
But maybe a 7 or a 6.75.
I give it, for some reason, I gave it a 7 and bumped it up 1. I'm going to stick with a 7.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It still doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, just the fact that I can't remember it means it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I can't remember what it sounds like.
But when you hear it, you're like, oh, yeah.
I do. When we were listening to it outside, I was like, "Oh, that is a good song." But like,
to me,
20 minutes ago. I mean, if I can't remember it from 20 minutes ago, it's like,
to me, it's just one more step. That's the only song that I really recount, to be honest.
No.
I mean, I hear all of them generally. I feel them, but
the next one, the next song is one that I remember.
Yeah.
Last words of a dying God. That's probably my second favorite.
Would you give it?
I gave it a 6.5 plus 2, 8.5.
Okay, but where came the 6.5? Like explain the difference.
Let's see here. the pretentious title, probably. Last Words of a Dying God. I just like,
Those are the types of album titles I like, which means you fucking hate me.
I think that's you drawing a pretty sharp conclusion there.
yeah. Wow, we made a pretty
You don't
big
like
jump.
the same song as me, you hate me.
You hate me. Why do you hate me, Dad?
Jesus Christ. Really opening up a can of worms. So we have taken our shots. We are now on The Last Words of a Dying God. Ben, no, actually, Mark, open us up with how you feel about it.
Haven't we already talked about it?
I would.
I don't know.
No.
It was intermixed.
You talked about it for a hot minute and then it got sidetracked.
Oh, okay.
This one felt kind of the most theatrical in sound, and this was another one where all the voices at the same time kind of bothered me a little bit. Not necessarily bothered me, but I thought it like drugged the song down a little bit. I gave it a 4. I'd probably give it a 6 now.
You give it a fucking 4?
Because the first time I listened to it, I listened to it straight through, and all the voices at once at that point was just like, I'm just kind of done listening.
Even after like multiple listens through, you're still at a 4?
No, I said I give it like a 6 now. Maybe a 6.5.
Okay.
I gave it an 8.5 from the get-go.
My final score was an 8.5. My initial score was a 6.5, so I'm okay with it. With 6.5.
Yeah, this was the song that I heard, and I was like,
this is a different song.
it's different. I like it. It's more theatrical, like you said. And I literally put, like, I just wish they sold this song to Ghost. Because it to me, it feels a lot like what Ghost would do.
Yeah, they could have done it with this most recent album.
They could have done it with any of their album because it distills back to early Ghost to me. They could have done it with the new one, but the new one was more like an industrial, kind of steampunk. Yeah. But it could have made the album for sure. To me, it was powerful. It was engaging.
It hit.
It hit the spot, and it came at the end, and I was like, I didn't really. To me, I gave it a good shot. Like, I didn't give anything less than a 5. But I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not gonna listen to any of these songs except for that one. One More Step. I'll listen to One More Step. Honestly, like
2 off of an album on a playlist isn't bad.
It's not bad, but it's not even close to a home run. Whereas we talked about Rammstein's Zeit, and I've gone back and listened to that album multiple times. I thought it was a masterpiece. He didn't really like it that much. You gave it a good swing anyways. You're fair, but
I like Rammstein.
I love that album. And like I said, I've listened to it multiple times. I don't know.
If it was in English, I would have liked it quite a bit, I feel.
Yeah.
Because I listened through it just once, and it was much better than I was expecting.
I don't know. Besides the Last Words of a Dying God and One More Step, like, they still don't match up to their other best songs. Everybody's Gonna Die, and
Everybody Is Gonna Die.
And what's their other best song?
Evil in Your Eye. I really like that.
That's very good. Yeah, that's good, but it's
Cold Sweat.
Cold
Sweat.
Sweat.
The one you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
it's Cold Sweat. I like that's
Evil
the song.
Evil in Your Eye was the first one that I listened to, and I was like,
But I can turn on Cold Sweat and like all of my the kids and,
like it.
and then the wife likes it. You know, it's like
Mountain Heart's another one that everybody would like.
that's all right.
I mean, Jeff Mann.
Cold Sweat is the best. Let's be honest.
Cold
It's
Sweat
the
and
most
Mountain Heart.
listened to.
I'll give Cold Sweat a listen.
You have to get Cold Sweat.
Legitimately, if you just go through their top 5, their current top 5. I mean, number 5 is One More Step.
Yeah, from the
But like so those first four are probably legitimately their.
Those
top
are
4
current
songs.
top 5s, to be
Those
honest.
might be
Everybody's
top
Gonna
4
Die
songs.
has more listens, but it's their current top 5 by listens.
But yeah, then there might be like 2 or 3 other songs off the rest of their other 3 albums that you could do. But anyway,
And that's it, right?
no, there's one more.
There's one more,
Oh, yeah.
which is funny because I put last song ? Whatever.
Man,
You like the last
I liked
song.
it. I gave it a 7, and I gave it a 0.5 after going into it. The song is called "We Lost It Somewhere." It's got a really slow intro, and it's a really long, really slow intro. But once the guitar kicks in, it's kind of got like a country western feel, just like as far as guitar tone and whatnot. But it's kind of like this kind of shuffle blues kind of vibe. And it just kind of leans into that lethargic shuffle that I was talking about. And I kind of, after I'd like listened to it for a week and came back after a week, I was like, I kind of really dig this song. I think this is like a really cool, just something different.
I can't think what this one sounds like off the top of my head.
That's my problem too. I get to this point and
I gave it a 7, so I liked it.
Yeah.
And I was bumping everything up a point multiple times later, listening to the album, so maybe an 8 at this point.
Will you re-explore this album at all?
Would you
be honest. Will you re-explore? Like, will this make a playlist of
Probably not.
sort?
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
We just listened to basically the whole thing, or at least the back half. We listened to like the last 3 or 4 songs completely.
I wasn't really paying attention though.
Right. So I was gonna say, like, if you can't remember it, is it really an 8?
Yeah.
An 8.
In the context of like listening to this album. Yeah. But
it's tough to juggle. It's tough to juggle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it. I liked it. I don't know. I'm kind of at this point in my life where the stuff that I've really been into is, all of my bands have put out albums recently, and so I'm really kind of just like looking for new stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited when I'm happy when people are putting out stuff, and that it might be a little bit different or maybe even experimental, if you will.
I take that back. I probably would listen to this again. I probably will listen to this again in the future.
I don't know. I'm in this weird place where it didn't do it for me terribly much, and there's only so much time to listen to music, and I'm trying to think of when I put this on. To me, a couple of these songs are like morning songs. Not morning as in morning at death, but like in the morning where I'm trying to juice things up. I can definitely see, One Last Word from a Dying God for sure. And then like the One Last Step is probably a song I'm listening to when I'm feeling a bit remorseful about something, or I just want to listen to church. So, of the Cosmic Skulls, COCS with a T. Yeah. So it's like I just have to be in the mood. It's tough to figure out when that is, but so my point is like Cold Sweat. I can put that on during a workout. I can put that on during the afternoon. I could put that on in the morning. And to me, that's like a universal, it doesn't matter when I play it, I like that song. That's why this album doesn't resonate with me, because I'm trying to wonder when I would listen to it again, except for just listening to it. You see where I'm getting this? Like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to put it on.
I don't really have, I don't like listen to music in the mornings. Like if I listen to music, it's basically like while I'm working, depending on what workout I'm doing, maybe while I'm working out.
I just want to
like when I'm in the car, I'm listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
we're older now.
I might not have as many hours of music listening in a day that you two might get in. So, but I would go back to this and listen to it because my playlist that I listen to a lot now is kind of getting a little played out.
My favorite
so
morning.
I'm ready to move into new bands like you were talking about and see new things.
My favorite song in the morning to play is Every Day There's a Battle to Fight by Grand Vegas. And it's great. And what's funny both of the...
It's cheesy as fuck.
It is cheesy as fuck, but both of the kids will like dance to it.
Oh my god.
And it's every day
there's
a battle to fight. Yeah. No, they love it.
Shit. Like dad's self-esteem's so fucking low. He's
got swords all
He's gotta listen to this dumb song in the morning.
But then in the afternoons, Bloody Hammers comes
He's
on.
like, oh, I'm not.
Bloody Hammers.
Ah,
Dude,
yeah,
I wore my
yeah.
Bloody Hammer shirt to work today.
Oh man, Bloody Hammers is so good.
Not the one with the face on it, but just the one that says Bloody Hammers.
Yeah.
Which I was like, man, I don't know what would be worse. I mean, they both say Bloody Hammers on it, but the one is like kind of cartoony. And so I was
Ish.
like, this would be all right.
All
Kids
right.
can't read.
I gotta read.
Album scores. Mark, give it to us.
Overall?
Yes.
Overall? Let's hear it, buddy.
Like a 7.
All right.
As far as like what I would listen to.
You said you'll listen to it
I would
again.
listen to it again.
Mm-hmm.
Ben?
I think that's fair. I think 7's fair. I think there's like some real nice high points. I disagree. Not disagree. I think there's probably like 3 or 4 songs that you could listen to, or that I'm gonna listen to more. But
Like I know what they are.
you're 100% wrong about a 5.
It's a 5.
I guess who's not invited back next week?
And I don't know, man. To me, if you're gonna make an album, don't let everything sound so the same. There is no moment in this album that reaches beyond itself.
I feel like you've used that before.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like
I
it.
don't know if I ever really looked that deep into music.
Yeah.
I just like the sound.
Yeah,
I liked this sound.
And there is that, but to me, I like an element of surprise. To some people, I think the music they want is comforting rather than challenging. I like an
I
element
don't really
of
even
challenge.
know what that means though.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's a moment in the album that goes beyond your expectations. This album is great for like you can listen to the whole thing and it's kosher. It's okay. All of it is palatable. None of it is like weird. But I want good weird versus bad weird.
I would say that
it's hard to
this you could describe their kind of unique sound as
Yeah.
a little weird.
Yeah.
I would think it's
Not
definitely
weird.
unique.
It's not weird
It's
enough for
definitely
me.
like I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of other bands that sound like this out there, but to me,
There
it's very one of a
isn't, to
kind.
be honest. There's not. I mean, like it's all
Well, yeah. Well,
rel-
I heard it fucking.
relatable, but it is weird. Yeah, but it's just not my type of weird, guys. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
This album,
Yeah.
I think the band just generally in their kind of vibe is my type of weird. And I dug this album, so this album is my type of weird.
I am
Wrong. I am wrong. I'm wrong. I'm
Yeah.
wrong. It's fine.
Can't love everything, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh well. So coming up next is going to be the Wheel.
Of
Destiny.
wheel. You gotta go much higher than that. You gotta
Oh, I thought you were high. I was trying
Yeah.
to go in between.
Of destiny.
Ready?
All right, Mark is gonna take honors. I will hold the wheel down. Please
Going this way.
give it a go.
1, 2, 3.
There you go. That's a nice start.
That's alright. That's alright. Oh!
Top song, November 19th, 1997.
Ooh.
What was that?
Oh wow.
Candle in the Wind, 1997. Do you want to just do the album that Candle in the Wind was originally on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay.
So
I think that's fair.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, released 1973.
All right.
So that's going to be, no doubt, probably an incredible fucking album.
Yeah. If you liked what you've seen here today, please like, subscribe.
Watch the show.
Tell your parents.
I've told my parents.
I haven't told mine.
Mine, no.
They do?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Love you guys.
Peace.